Hey, what's up, YouTube? I just got in the mail today the Behringer Nox 404, and I've only had maybe 2 or 3 minutes to play with it throughout the day at 30 seconds at a time, a minute at a time. So I've only really played with it maybe 3 times since I got it around noon, but I am absolutely in love with this mixer. I started off with the Numark M2, but I can easily say on a budget and as a starter, scratch DJ or just DJ period, these Behringer lines of mixers have got to be probably one of the best mixers that you can buy for under an arm and a leg. But this is not a typical review video. There's already been a few videos already going over the review of the unit, the effects, the build quality, the features of the mixer itself. I don't want to get into that. I mean, basically for me, the thing that really, set me off into want to actually purchase one of these things is the Infinium optical crossfader. Like I said, I'm starting out, and I'm getting to the point where, at least I feel that I'm at the point where I, start to work on twiddles and crabs, and to be honest, I've been having issues performing those with my Numark M2, and it's really, really disconcerting, making me think, well, dang, I really don't have skills, and technically I don't. I mean, I'll admit I'm not the greatest one out there, but I would perform the twiddle or perform the crab, and I could hear all 4 clicks or all 3 or all 2 clicks, literally with the fader banging against the back of the the back of the plate here. But I wouldn't necessarily hear all those sounds come through the speakers or come through the monitors. And so that was really, really, really annoying. And so then I started looking at, looking at an aftermarket crossfader, because, for $150, I could upgrade this thing with the XFader or the Pro XFader. They still sell those. I haven't actually been able to find a retailer for that thing. But, upgrade the mixer and then, get a better crossfader, and then, be able to pull off a few of those techniques. So, and looking and waiting, saving money sort of thing, and other things getting in the way around November or so, September, seeing those first videos from NAMM about the Behringer line of the new Nox series of mixers, and hearing about this crossfader, I was I was on board. I wanted one. And then, finally when they released and people started to have, there's very few reviews, but people started, reviewing the product, they did a really good job, but they didn't really cover what I was mostly interested in, and that was this crossfader. How good is this crossfader? People just say that it's good. Okay. Well, the crossfader is good, and in my opinion, compared to a Numark M2, it's incredibly better. I have not had the opportunity to play around with a lot of crossfaders, but I've messed around with a lot of the demo units. Whenever you go to your Guitar Center or Sam Ash, I've played around with the Numark N7. A crossfader for that, which is really, really nice, and then also the DJM 400, which is really nice too. And as far as feel, I mean, I honestly say that this crossfader is very, very, very darn freaking close. Some people say the crossfader feels plasticky. Yeah, but I only think it's mainly because, you know, this fader tip is not solid plastic like it is with those other higher end, within those higher end mixers. But, you know, as far as the feel, the effect, you know how loose the fader feels, the tension adjustable fader, it's insane. Like, it's really a good crossfader. I know I'm gonna get into, you know, actually playing something and then showing you, you know, the cut differences between the Newmark and the Behringer Nox. But one other thing I wanted to point out, I know this is mentioned in another video, but, you know, you do have two separate curves that you can apply to the crossfader itself. So I have crossfade A to a real sharp curve over here to the left, and I have just a regular, you know, slow curve to the right. And just by clicking this mode button, I can switch between the two. So I have A for scratching, or I can have A for scratching, you know, do my thing from here, and then, you know, it's time to fade into, you know, just do a, you know, just a standard mix. You know, I can hit the mode button, go to mode 2 with my slow curve, and, or, you know, my I guess not a sharp but a smooth curve, and just, you know, just fade it on into the other song, which is really nice. And then also the fade and the cut in for that you can adjust for the for these line faders is just about as sharp. You set this up to fast here, and then, you know, literally, I mean, it's almost as if, you know, if you wanted to, you know, you could scratch off of, you know, literally do your fader, your crossfader scratches off of that. And then the mode button on this literally just allows you to pan between left and right speakers for this particular channel, independently of this pan, which I'm not too sure if you have this on left and this on right, how that would, if they would cancel each other out, or how all that would work. But oh well. That's not what this video is about, but this video is about the crossfader. So I'm going to go ahead, and I've got a track queued up over here on this phone. I'm going to play through, and I'm not getting anything. I'm a genius. There we go. So we've got the track playing. I'm going to cut it off. And so I'm going to move it, you know, just until I hear something. And right here, this is what I'm talking about. Like right here, it's barely moved, which is okay, which is all right. You know, I barely move it. But I hear a sound coming from the monitor. I don't know if you can hear that. But it's not full-on sound. You know, it's still got a slight slope to it, which, you know, if I'm doing, you know, twiddles and things like that, and, you know, I'm holding the fader back, you know, I click, you know, it's enough for me to get the clicking sound out of the mixer itself, but it's not far enough to get full-on sound. And then I have to move it a little bit further, and then I get full-on sound, which is, you know, not bad, but, you know, the fact that, you know, it is fairly stiff, and then not all my clicks actually transfer over. Alright, so I've got the same track actually coming out of the Newmark into the Behringer. And so let me switch it over so we got, you know, the track on the right hand side as the other one. So, you know, barely moving it, barely past, I don't know if you can barely see that, but barely past, let me turn that down a little bit, but barely past, you know, its start point over here. And then the light, let me move over a little bit. So which is freaking awesome. And then you have a nice, you know, nice smooth, loose So, in conclusion, I mean, like, the fader in this thing is freaking awesome. I really want to know, you know, exactly about how long is this thing going to last, you know. I mean, as far as, you know, mixers go out there, you know, people say, you know, Behringer, you know, has a name of making, you know, cheap products. Thus far, this is a solid unit, and I'm absolutely in love with it. Now, I want to see how long it lasts. You know, right now it feels like it's, you know, it's solid. I mean, it's optical, so I mean, like, to me, it seems like it barely needs any real cleaning or maintenance. You know, maybe a few touches of oil on the rails to make sure that it you know, it slides well enough, but other than that, you know, it's a really solid unit. So I highly recommend anybody who's becoming, you know, starting out scratch DJ, you know, short money, you know, on a budget, you want a scratch mixer, I highly suggest the Nox, and I suggest the Nox 404 specifically only because you got the, you know, the extra controls for the line faders, as well as the extra controls that you have going on with the crossfader here. And of course, you can output, you know, have a separate effects unit, which is nice. But you know, if you can't go with the 404, then 303 or even the 202 is definitely a good buy. And I hope this video helped, you know, a few other people that were on the fence like I was about purchasing the unit. And if you have any questions or comments, you know, post below, and you know, have fun.